Hi there. In this video, I'm going to take a look at this news article about the Model 3 getting stuck at 83 miles per hour on the freeway. And I've taken a video here from a local news station. I'll link to the original video in the description. But I wanted to take a look at some of the things that I see in this video. And this is not going to be a character assassination or a BS news or FUD thing. It's just not me. So I just want to take a look at what I see in the video and see what you guys think. So first off, I paused the video here at one section to take a look at this screen that got frozen. So apparently what happened is this person was driving down the freeway and the screen froze. And we can tell a few things by looking at this screen that's frozen here. Apparently the screen froze up and it kept displaying this the whole way. So we've basically got a screenshot of what was happening at the moment that it froze. So one of the things that we can see is that the left turn signal is on and the car seems to be merging into the leftmost lane of the freeway. This is the blind spot camera here that comes on when you put the left turn signal on. So you can see that the car is almost merged over into the left lane. And you can tell one other thing here. It looks like the power level is about 70 or 75%. So this dark line here starts out here and it would be all the way over here if you're flooring it, and this looks like maybe 70 or 75% throttle. So what I think was happening is he probably was one lane over to the right and he's trying to merge into the left lane. So you put your turn signal on like a good driver and you goose it a little bit to get over into the left lane because you don't want to be impeding traffic behind you, so you get going a little bit faster and then you slow down. So that's kind of a typical move, but you know, he is going 83 and a 60 when this froze. But one thing I want to point out here is if the throttle stuck where he had it when the screen froze, it would be stuck at 70 or 75%, and by the time he got his phone out to video this, he'd be going probably top speed, well over 100. But that's not what looks like happened here. The other thing that I noticed in this video is, let me get it to the right spot here. Here we have the display is going to say 83 all the way until you stop because it's frozen. So you could be going 0 and it's still going to display 83. So you know, I don't blame somebody for thinking you're going 83 miles an hour because you have no other indication other than looking out the window. But when I do that and I look out the window and I see what's going on, it didn't look like it was going 83 miles per hour. And I also find it hard to believe that a tractor trailer would be doing 83 in one of the right two lanes here. And he's keeping up with this. He's basically static with this tractor trailer going the same speed. So something didn't look right to me. So what I did was I brought it into YouTube, and what I noticed is if you go frame by frame, you can get a pretty good idea of how fast he's really going. You have to ignore this because that's how fast he was going when he was goosing it to get over in the left lane. I think that he has slowed down quite a bit at this point. And what I know is that these white lines on the road, it's a little blurry here, but we'll go forward a little bit in a second here. But these white lines are 10 feet long and there's 30 feet of space. So if you look at the leading edge of one white line to the leading edge of the next white line, it's 40 feet. So for those of you who use YouTube and you don't know this, you can go frame by frame in YouTube. You just hit the, I'm on a PC, so I don't know if it's different on a Mac, but you hit the comma and the period key to go back or forward one frame. And this video is 720, I'm looking at it in 720, 60 frames a second. But you'll notice that when you go frame by frame, let me go forward a couple frames here. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you'll see that the video only changes every other frame. And that's just because the video was shot at 30 frames a second and this news article was published at 60. But that doesn't change the timing. The timing is still going to be correct. So let's see if we can find a good spot to measure these white lines. Let me go forward a little bit here and get it right when this white line touches the base of the windshield. So that would be right there. The leading edge of this white line is just touching the base of the windshield here. And we'll count how many frames it takes to get to the leading edge of the next white line. And I should note that the angle here doesn't really make any difference because the angle stays the same. So if you measure, no matter what angle you're at, if you measure the number of frames until the next white line hits the same point, it's going to be 40 feet. So let's start counting. We're at the tip of this, the leading edge of this white line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So somewhere between 30 and 32 frames. And at 60 frames a second, that's going to be a half a second. 30 out of 60 frames, that's a half a second between two white lines. Half a second to go. We'll just call it 30 to give it the benefit of the doubt because 30 would give you the higher speed, 30 versus 32. So we're going to say 30 frames, that's a half a second. That's 80 feet per second, which, do it quickly on my calculator here, that turns out to be 54.5 miles per hour. So he's doing about 55 miles per hour here, give or take a few miles per hour. He's not going 83. So at some point between when this happened and now, he's slowed down from 83 to 55. So this car is not stuck at 83 miles per hour. It's stuck at about 55. And that would make sense because that's probably about how fast. Remember, this is a 60 zone. You can see that in another frame. Unless it changed, which I don't think it did. But it makes sense this truck is going about 55. So everything lines up. He's doing about 55 here. And obviously it's not panic mode because he got his phone out and had the presence of mind to take a video of this. So it's not like he's struggling, he has to focus, he's struggling for control or something like that. So I have to ask, why is this newsworthy? Any car brand, cars are full of electronics, wiring, sensors, actuators. You know, you could have any car, let's say 1 in 100,000 new cars might go out on the road and their engine die for some reason. Well, if your engine dies in an ICE car, depending on whether you have hydraulic or electric power steering, brakes, how they're set up, you could, first of all, the car is going to start slowing down whether you want it to or not. And second, you could have much harder to turn steering and much harder to actuate brakes. So this could happen to any car, and the fact that this either slowed down very slowly or gave him the opportunity to find the right spot to slow down and pull over, I think is an engineering plus. So why is this in the news? And the only thing I can come up with is that it's a Tesla, and Teslas are popular, and a news article that says something negative about Tesla is going to make the rounds on the internet. But I just wanted to point out these things that I see in the video, and you guys can leave your comments down below. I did want to mention one other thing about right here. He presses this hazard button here and claims that it doesn't work, and he had also fooled with the left and right turn signals and said they didn't work either. Well, there's a high probability that they are working. You're just not hearing the clicks. The clicks are generated by the UI, which is currently crashed, locked up, frozen. So you're not going to hear the clicks, but I bet the turn signal and the hazard lights were still working. Now, he pressed this button, but anybody that owns a Model 3 will be able to tell you that in bright sunlight like we have here, it's very difficult to see this red light blink inside the triangle here, even with your eyes, and almost impossible to capture it on camera. I've tried it before in sunlight, and I had to put my head kind of up underneath the triangle to see it flashing red. So I suspect when he pressed that button, the hazards were working. He just didn't hear them clicking. So he figured they're not working. So I think that's probably the case. And also, if you own a Tesla, you probably know you can reboot the screen while you're driving, and you won't hear the clicks, but you know the controls are still working. Ultimately, he was able to pull over safely and get it towed, get the car fixed. So to me, this is really not newsworthy, but I did want to point out what I think is a fact, that he was not doing 83 miles an hour, and the car certainly was not stuck at 83 miles per hour. I think we probably all knew that since he pulled over safely anyway, but even in the video, I think the video shows he was not doing 83. So take it as you will. It's just another news article, and people like to jump on those, I guess, but I had to debunk a few things that I saw in the video. Whether you agree or not, I don't know. Like I said, no fault to the driver here. They were going by what they saw. The display said 83, and maybe they thought it was 83. I don't think there was anything nefarious going on here from the driver, but I just love how the news picks these things up and makes it seem like your Model 3 is screaming down the highway at 83 miles per hour and you can't stop it. And no, some people read the headlines and they see that, and that's what they think. So I wanted to make this video, and hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.